Well, hello everyone and welcome to Zombicide Black Plague. I am going to go through Marc Simonetti's special guest box for some survivors really. So let's just begin. So we start off with Red Cap Rodney. Right, so right from the bat, he has +1 damage in melee. That's pretty good already. And then goes for either a free melee action, can't go wrong with that, or Reaper melee. I myself would literally go for the free melee action because I'm not too much of a fan of Reaper. Right, the red ones is +1 free combat action. Okay, that's pretty good. +1 dice roll in melee. That's really good. And Zombie Link. That is also really good. Right, so Zombie Link can come up with a few times, but I would say go for the +1 dice roll in melee, so you can easily hit, and then go for the +1 free combat action. Then Zombie Link. But it all depends on how you kind of play them. So this is how I would play him. His body slot can contain an axe. Well, that's kind of obvious because of his picture and his model as well. Take a look at that. He's an executioner really, or supposed to be. So that's why he would carry an axe. So then that's his model. So you know. Next we have Anther. So she starts off with Destiny. Destiny is an interesting skill. You know, it's like if you don't like the first equipment card that you come across, you can always ditch it and go for the next one. It's a not bad one. You can have +1 die in magic. Can't go wrong with that. Spellcaster. That's better than +1 die in magic in my experience anyway. As a spellcaster lets you give you a free spell action, whether it's a combat spell or an enchantment spell. So yeah, spellcaster is better. Right, +1 die in combat, can't go wrong with that. +1 free combat action, okay, that's pretty good. And +1 die roll to your magic. I would go for the +1 die in combat. Extra dice, you can't go wrong with. Then it all depends. The free combat action or +1 2 dice roll. I would go for the free combat action, just because you can do so much damage when you have spellcaster and +1 combat free as well. So you could get like 2 free combat actions while still having 4 actions. I mean that's really good combo. Then you got the +1 dice roll to magic, which yet again they're all very good. Her body slot can hold a healing spell instead, which healing spells are actually really worth trying to find, and with Destiny you should be able to find it. I say should. There's only like 2 of them in the entire deck. What about if they're both at the very bottom of the equipment deck? That's not very good. Well, let's take a look at that model anyway. So here she is. It's kind of bland really. Just nothing really stands out. It's a staff, a small dagger there. It's simple and basic. I say simple and basic. It's also a very good character as well. So next we have Candice. She starts off with Marksman. Marksman is a very good skill if you're using range. You know, target who you want, and misses do not hit other survivors, which is a very good skill. Having to start off with probably not so much, because it's not going to happen as well as you think, but at the same time there has been opportunities even very early game where I had actually hit another one of my survivors. Anyway, enough of that. +1 die in range, can't go wrong with that. +1 free range action. Okay, I myself will go for the +1 die range. It's just because you're getting an extra dice in each of your attacks really, and getting with Marksman as well. That I think it helps better than the free range attack. But Don't get me wrong, I do like the free range attack, just because. Oh, anyway, she has +1 die in combat. That's really good. +1 free combat action. That's good. +1 dice roll in range. All depends on the kind of weapon that you already have. So bows tend to be hitting on a 3+, or whilst crossbows tend to be hitting on a 4+. So it really all depends on what you have and how many dice you're rolling and all of that. So Candice is a very, very good archer. She can also hold a longbow in her body slot, which is very interesting. What other weapons would you actually have? So longbow can actually go for very, very long range, whilst it only does 1 point of damage, whereas crossbows will do 2, but it's a shorter range. Longbows are great at sniping at necromancers, and because she's got marksman, she can target whoever she wants. So she is a very, very good archer. And here is her model. So yeah, she does kind of look like a hunter or huntress, really. So yeah, it's quite neat. It's a little bit weird because that's her other arm and hand, because arms, but it's kind of covered with a cloak. It's a little hard to tell, but it's there. It's quite simple. I like the little bear hood, or is it a wolf hood? Cloak kind of thing. Anyway, that's her model. It's pretty good, and the character is also very, very good. Our last character is Lady Grin. She starts off with shove. I do love that skill a lot. Starting with it can be pretty handy. It really, really can. Yeah, it's if your survivors keep messing up, just to try and kill perhaps 2 zombies. Shove can actually save your health or survivors' lives. The amount of times that I've actually failed in hitting things. Right, anyway, next we go for the +1 free melee action, which is good, or charge, which is even better. I love charge. Charge is probably one of the best skills in the entire game. Sorry, but it is. I would literally go for charge straight away. The +1 free melee action is nice, but charge is better. Right. +1 die in combat. Okay, that's good. +1 free combat action. Yes again, that's good. And is that all you've got? So, being that in red, should really mean that you've actually got quite a bit of equipment that you already have. With the is that all you got can actually save using an action for shove, just in case. So, get rid of any equipment just to negate a wound. That is really, really good still. Her body slot is a hammer. Well, okay, that makes sense, I guess. After all, if you look at her model, she actually has a hammer. She doesn't start off with a hammer though. Although, you could actually give her a hammer, starting equipment. Anyway, her model looks actually really good, it's actually really, really good. It feels kind of realistic, as in like the pose and even the armor as well looks really good. I do like that. That's all nice. So that was a special guest of Marc Simonetti. What do I think of this? Apparently. It is a good one to go for. The heroes are actually really good. I like the archer focus survivor. Lady Grim, starting off with shove is really, really great and all. Anther, having Destiny, you could try and find those specific equipment that you really want, and Red Cap Rodney is your damage dealer really, so that's a really, really good setup already there. Well, get it, don't get it? Well, of course, yeah, get it, definitely. Certainly recommend this. So in other words, that's all I have, so thank you very much until next time, bye.